So good evening all. Welcome to REACTIUM part 2. So yesterday we had cancelled the stream due to some technical issues. So today we will be rewinding those portions which I had already covered, and we will be completing the remaining portions of part 2 REACTIUM. So now I welcome Hari Prasad sir to carry out today's session.
Yesterday there was some technical difficulties, and yeah, we will just recap what we did yesterday. Just a second, let me just share my screen.
Okay, sir.
I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, sir. So, it's visible.
Okay, fine. So yesterday, what we actually did is like what we so till now, the work that we were doing actually we actually completed the backend. So the application that we're trying to develop was a meetings app, an app in which you can create new meetings, you can delete existing meetings, and maintain meetings. So basically, what we did till now is we created an API. So if I go to 𝐶𝑜-𝐹𝑜𝑢𝑛𝑑𝑒𝑟 so this is where our API is being hosted. So it's an Heroku app. So Heroku is a service in which we actually, we are actually hosting our API. So we actually discussed how we did it, and so the structure of our application currently is actually, the backend is actually hosted in Heroku. So only the database is not in the server; it's actually hosted elsewhere. It's in actually, it's in a place called MongoDB Atlas database service. So this is actually a service provided by MongoDB itself. So our database that we're using is a MongoDB NoSQL database. So what MongoDB Atlas is it's a cloud service which you can use to host your databases. So they actually provide a free tier of about 500 MB. So you can try your projects using MongoDB and host it for free up to 500 MB. So yeah, so that's what we're using. So our database is hosted in the cloud, and our app is also hosted in the cloud. So both are in different places. Okay. So we also discussed how we connected it when we were actually building the backend. So today, what we'll be doing is we'll be building a front end for this, for this application, so that we can consume this API. So okay, so currently we have a few elements in our database, few items in our database. So these are basically meetings. So this one is a meeting element, and this one is a meeting element. This has some properties, like it has a title. Before that, I just forgot. Let me just increase my screen size. Okay, so yeah. So this is basically our yeah, this is one meeting element or one entity, and this has some properties. So let me just increase this a little bit. Okay, so it has some few properties like ID. So ID is it's a unique ID with which you can identify a meeting element, and it has a title, then content, then room, then starting time and ending time, and some other stuff like created at and updated at. These are the timestamps that we use. So we also discussed about the timestamps when we are building the backend. So today what we'll be doing is we'll be using React Native. So again, React Native, why we're using it for the front end is because uh, I'm trying to use JavaScript for developing both the backend and the front end. So one such option is React Native. We can also try Angular or even Vue.js, but I prefer React Native. One benefit of React Native is if you're familiar with React.js, you can easily develop applications for Android or iOS. You can develop cross-platform applications with React Native. So that's one benefit of React Native. Okay. So yeah. So let's straight away. We don't have much time today from today for today and tomorrow's session. So we'll just straight away do like look into what we should do. So before trying out some coding, we need to know about the resources that we can use. So I'll just go to the website of React Native, and it's actually reactnative.dev. Okay, so this is the website. If I go here, make sure you check this section, okay, which is docs section. Go there, and you can see a lot of like stuff how to set up React application, the Hello World program for React Native. All this stuff is available here. And the main thing that you need to understand is like the main thing that you need to learn when starting React Native is components. So basically, React Native or even React JS, what we do is we build components, and components become the basic, units for our application. So it's like the building blocks of our application. Okay. So if I go to this section, so the docs is basically how to set up everything. You have environment setup, the workflow, all these stuff. Okay, the performance and the connectivity, all these stuff. If I go to components, this is where the basic components within React Native is available. You can just go and check out all this stuff here. So we have some basic components and some components like specific components to like iOS specific, Android specific components, because those components can be used for iOS specific elements that may not be available in Android devices. So yeah, like iOS specific buttons in certain cases. So you can use those elements. And yeah, if I go to these basic components, we have these 6 components which are basic components. So one is view, then text, then image component, then text input, scroll view, and style sheet. So we will be using almost all of these, and in today's session also. So this is like the basic components that you can use to build an Android application or an iOS application. So okay, so the thing about React Native or even React JS is you can build custom components. So for a company, like if you find a company that's using React Native or React JS, about 99 percentage, like about 99 percentage of their application will be using custom components only. And because this basic components have a lot of limitations, so it's up to you. Like you can build your own components and even take some like ideas from these components and modify them. They change their background or color or border radius and stuff like that. Okay. So there are other components also. You can just go here and check out all the components that come bundled with the application, like the React Native framework. Okay, so that's one thing that you can check. And of course, if you run into some problems, you can check out the community. And yeah, that's it. So that's it about React Native here. So before like start doing React Native development, you need a few things. So one thing is we need to install Expo. Expo is a service that that can help you in developing React Native applications and test them. So you can test them and deploy them. So they provide a bundle in which you can have React Native development, testing, and deployment all together. So I'll just take you to the Expo website. So if you just search for Expo on Google, the first page that comes up, that's expo.io. If I go there, so this is basically the website. And if I go to the docs section, you can see the basic stuff like the introduction and all. So we need to like install Expo first into our system so that we can run them. Okay. So this is the code to install Expo. So without Expo, also you can build React Native application, but there is a the problem is you cannot do testing and deployment. Beta testing, all those stuff. The Expo provides a lot of tools for that, so you can do it's your choice, but I prefer Expo because for a starter it's much better. Okay, so to install React Native with Expo, all you have to do is just copy this command. Okay, just copy this command. Then I'll just open a PowerShell window. Make sure when you are like using PowerShell or command prompt and all, if you are like in Linux or Mac, you can do sudo, but in command prompt and Windows, just open it as administrator so that you don't run into any problems. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just paste this command. Okay, npm install, and there is a tag here hyphen global. So which means that it's installing Expo CLI. CLI means command line interface. So Expo CLI is installed globally so that I can use it anywhere in my system. So it's not folder specific or directory specific. Okay. So just enter that and it will install. I have already installed it and set up, so I'm not doing it again. So the next thing that we need to do is, okay, we need a directory. So after installing Expo, make sure you have a directory in which you're working on. So mine is in F drive. So I'll just go to it. So this is my directory. So if I just list here, we have few folders here. So one is backend. So we had build our backend in the backend 2 folder. And what we'll do is we'll build the front end in front end 2 folder. Okay. So yeah. So I'm inside this folder. Let me just check if there is anything. Okay, there is a fold. There is another folder here. I'll just remove it. Okay. Okay, I'm running into some problems here. I'll just close this and open it. Okay, let me just go to the folder and delete the existing files, and we'll just start from the beginning. Okay. So this was the folder I was looking for. I'll just delete this and we'll start from the beginning. Yeah, so if you can see, so this was a basic React Native installation. So it's about 150 MB. Like the application itself is quite light. Like it's very light, but the node modules, that is the dependency files, that makes up a lot of space. So it's around 150 MB in a basic, installation, basic app. So you don't have to worry about, all this size when you're sending it to the server, because in the server you don't have to send the dependency files, because you'll be installing it from there and updating it from there. So you don't have to send those. I'll tell you how to, like, we when we deployed our backend, we actually excluded the node modules folder, right? So that's actually, all the dependency files. We don't have to take it to the server, because server we will install it again. So we don't have to do that. So yeah, so I'll just let this just get deleted. And yeah, you know what? We'll just create a new folder here. I'll again cd to the same, folder, and okay, so this is the folder in which I would like to work on. Okay, so it's this is the folder. So what I'm going to do is I'll use a command expo init. Okay, just like we did with the backend, we did npm init, so npm initialization, so initializing a project. So I'm going to initialize an expo project, so it's called expo init. Okay, just enter that, and we'll just wait for a few seconds. Okay. So it's giving me some warnings, like it hasn't yet tested the latest node.js version, but it's okay, it will work if you are like seeing these warnings. So what this process, what it will ask for is, it will ask for a file name, like a project name, and we have to enter that project name. So you can see that, would you like to name, what would you like to name a project? So I'm going to call it um, 𝐶𝑜-𝐹𝑜𝑢𝑛𝑑𝑒𝑟. So just type your project name and just click enter. Then you'll be getting, an option to choose a template. So there is some, options, like you can use TypeScript templates. So TypeScript is basically a superscript of JavaScript. You can actually use it to like build your application entirely written on TypeScript. But if you're not familiar with TypeScript, you like JavaScript, then you can just use JavaScript. So I'm going to use JavaScript only. So I'll take blank, you know, uh, template. Just click enter. Okay, it will be selected one. So blank is selected one. Click enter, and it will, what it will do is it will create a folder named with this name, 𝐶𝑜-𝐹𝑜𝑢𝑛𝑑𝑒𝑟, and it will like bundle all the files that is required for, the React Native development, and it will just download it to that folder. Along with it, it will also install all the dependencies, like all the libraries that are required. So it takes about 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, while that's running, let's start up another, thing that I'm going to use. So like in the first session, I have asked you to like install Android Studio. So this is Android Studio. So Android Studio here, what we're using it for is, to run a virtual device, a virtual Android device, so that we can actually run an application in it, run our Android application in it, and we can test it there. Okay, so that's what we are using Android Studio for. So there is an application within it called AVD, Android Virtual Device Manager. Okay, so that's what we're going to use, and we'll be using it to test our application. So there are like two methods which you can use. One is using a virtual device, or you can also use your own Android device with the help of ADB. Okay, you have to enable ADB in your device, and you can just use it to sideload the application and test it out. But in both cases, you need an app called Expo in your device. So just install it on your device from Play Store. Okay. So on a virtual device, you don't have to do it. It will be like installing automatically. But on your device, you have to manually install it from Play Store. After that, I'll tell you how to like set it up. So I'll just close all these things. It's giving me some updates and all. So we are not actually using Android Studio for development. We'll be only using this feature called AVD Manager. If I just click that, so this is what it looks like. And if you don't have a device, it'd be like blank. So what you need to do is click on this button, create virtual device, and this will pop up. here I'll be getting like lots of options. So if you're doing development for phone, you have to click this option right here and select a suitable device that you want. So it depends upon your the size of the screen. So it's your it's your preference. So I have chosen a Pixel 3a device. So mine is a Pixel 3a device, and what you can do is just choose anyone. I'll choose Pixel XL, then click next. Then it will show you all the APIs available, like all the versions of Android that can run on that virtual device. So it's like R, Q, Pi, Oreo, Nougat, Marshmallow. All these versions are available. So I'll be choosing like Android R, which is Android 11, which has an API level of 30. Okay, so it's the latest one. So just choose anyone that you like, and then click next, and it will like install. Okay, so I have already done that, and it takes some time. Like it's about 1 GB in size, but after installation it gets to like 9.7 GB. So it's up to you. Like you like I mean it's quite a big file, so make sure you have enough data. And if you are not like into it, then you can use your own device using Expo application. Okay, so I've already have this, so I'll just play this. So since I can't show you my actual device, I can't share the screen at the same time. Like it's a difficult situation here, so I can't do that. I'm not able to do it properly, so that's why I'm using a virtual device, or else I could have shown you with my physical device. So just open it, and yeah, okay, it was already open. So what
Excuse
you
me,
see
sir.
here
Excuse me,
is
sir.
the
One of them is asking to share the API URL.
API
So,
URL. Okay, yeah, sure. I'll just let me just see.
and Nisa, yesterday's workshop was cancelled due to some technical issues, and we are streaming yesterday's portion today. We are rewinding those portions which are already covered, and we'll be covering today the remaining portions.
Okay, let me just open, can you see this URL? So this is the URL, okay? This is the URL for API. Is it visible? I mean, this, like, I'll just take it somewhere else. Uh, so can you see this? So this is the URL, okay? If I just put it on the chat, can I, send it to the viewers? Is it possible?
Yes, sir. Please put in the chat, so we'll be sharing.
Yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, that's much better. So I'll just share it on the chat. Yeah, so put it on the chat. Please take it from there. Yeah, so we'll just continue. Like we don't have much time. So yeah, this is actually the application that we'll be building. Okay, so like I have already done it, and so this is what it looks like. So you can create a new meeting from here. You can create a new meeting from here, and you have all the all the meetings listed down, and there is an option to refresh and refresh all the all the stuff again if you want to like see if there is any new meeting or not. And there is a button to create new meeting, stuff like that. We will be building all these. Okay, we'll build everything. And yeah, let's begin. Okay, so I'll just close all this, and we can just close this application also, so that we can you can see how it starts. Okay, let me just click this and see if there is some. Okay, the problem with this emulator, is it will take some time. In certain cases, it will lag a lot. It depends upon your RAM, your RAM system memory. So I have an 8 GB RAM system, and it's quite laggy in my system. So if you have a 16 GB or more, then it'll be better. Okay. So I'll just restart this device, and let's wait for to restart. By then we'll just open our application. So yeah, where it okay, so this is once you give your application a name and choose your template, this is what it will end up, and it says project is ready. So if I just list the directory, I have a folder called 𝐶𝑜-𝐹𝑜𝑢𝑛𝑑𝐿T𝐷. So let me just cd there. So now I'm inside that folder. If I just list it, I have some files here. Okay, we'll just open it in Visual Studio Code. To do that, I'll just type code and dot here, so that it will open Visual Studio Code in this particular directory. So yeah, so this is pretty much it. And okay, so let me just show you, like tell you what's in here. So we have a file called app.js. Okay, this is where we will be like doing all the writing of code, and we have some other files also, app.json. So this is basically describing our application. So when we will be generating an APK file, this is what it will be using. Okay, so yeah, app.js file. So from this we will be running our application, and this, if I just explain the basic code here, so we have some import happening here. We are importing some stuff from some libraries. So we have a library called expo status bar, and we have a library called React. So I told you that React.js, if you know React.js, you can develop React native applications, because it actually depends on React to actually run. So we need React to run React Native applications, so that's why it's importing React. And the other stuff that's getting imported is, just a second. Uh, okay, so the other stuff that's getting imported is style sheet, text, and view. So these are the basic components. If you remember that we start, like we saw on the the homepage of React Native. Okay, that's what it is. And what we have here is a function. So in React Native, you can write your application in two ways. Like write your components in two ways. You can write functional components, and you can also write class components. So it's basically like writing JavaScript classes and JavaScript functions. Okay, both are like possible, and people kind of use both, and some people like mix both of them. So it's preferences. And what you need to do is, like, you should understand like doing both. Okay, yeah, we'll try to like use both. I'll try so that you can get an idea. So this, what you see here, is basically the style sheets. So just like CSS styles that you can apply to an HTML page, we have some styles here that you can apply to each of these components, like the view component, the text component. Okay, so this is where the application is written inside this function. So for a functional component, we have a return. For a class component, we will have a render function within which we will be returning something. Okay, I'll just show you that. If it comes up, I'll just explain you. So yeah, this is basically it. So if I just run this, we can see it will be like getting, like, starting in this emulator here. So I don't know why it's stuck like this. I think that's a problem. Okay, it's pretty much stuck. I'll do one thing. Okay, no, it's doing something. Okay, it restarts. I'll do one thing. So if your emulator gets stuck or something happens, just go to your AVD manager. Just go to your the device that you have, and select wipe data. Okay, wipe data. So it will wipe all the data within it, and after that we can actually restart our device, and that will actually, sometimes in certain cases, it will resolve those issues. So click wipe data, and it's taking some time. So you'll be able to see, like, this size will get reduced sometimes. Okay, it's again stuck, I guess. Okay, sorry, but my system got stuck. It's actually hanging right now. Okay, I think it's it's stuck. Yeah, it's back now. Just a second. I'll just you know see if it's okay now. Yeah. So this is actually the problem when you be using an 8 GB RAM or something on your like running virtual devices on a device which has 8 GB RAM. So yeah, this you might encounter, and this is a problem. And just a second. Okay. So Android Studio is pretty much stuck here. So I'll just close this application. Okay. Yeah. So it's closed right now. So I'll just open it again, and let's see what. Okay, so we actually opened Visual Studio Code in this directory, and we have it running also. So this is basic application like the Hello World, the program Hello World program for React Native. So you can actually run this and test it right away. So what I'm going to do is I have the code right here. So I'm doing nothing, no changes here. I just minimize it, and this is like the command line that we're using, and I'm in that particular directory right now. I just clear the screen. And to run this application, what you need to do is go to that directory in command line, then just type expo start. Okay, just type expo start and press enter. Okay, and it will take some time. And what will happen is it will run a server. Okay, it will run a local server. It will start up a local server, and it will give you some options like to try this app out. So yeah, it automatically opens a window in your browser, and you will be having some options there. So when it loads up, let me just open AVD manager again, and let me just click wipe data. Okay, yes, and yeah, it's the data has been like wiped, and you can see the size of the disk is now reduced to 1.7 GB. Now what I'll do is I'll play the virtual device, and you can see that it's saying starting AVD. It will take some time, and by then we'll just see what's up here. Okay, what's happening here. So this is what the page, like the localhost server, that's started from expo. And on the left side you have some options here, like run on Android device, run on iOS simulator, run in a web browser, and other stuff. Okay, this is a QR code that you can use to run this particular application on your device. So what you need to remember is you need to like connect your computer or your laptop and your mobile device on the same network. So it can be connected to the same Wi-Fi or even a hotspot of your mobile device. Okay, just connect both to a single network. And what you need to do is install Expo application from Play Store on your Android device. Okay. After that, open Expo application and then just scan this QR code. and what will happen is the expo will start this particular application. So this application that that we have here, it will start in your mobile device. Okay, so if you don't like to use your own device, if you have like the ability to run an emulator, then just start up the emulator. And what you need to do is, there is an option here called run on Android device or emulator. Okay, once it gets starts, it's all started up, just click this button and you'll see that this application will be like installing on this device automatically, and it will run. Okay, so let's I think we need to wait like for it to start up. Okay, what I will do is, for the time being, we will actually, start coding, like start doing our application, like building our application. Okay, so I wanted to like show you the basic, what it looks like. So that's why I was just trying to like see if it gets open right now or not. But yeah, anyway, we will just try to, build our application right away. So I will not be like coding everything at once, because we don't have much time. So what I'll do is, I'll just compare with the code that I've written for today, and we'll just compare both, and we'll try to like take it from there to here. Okay, uh, if I just take both these side by side, just a second. Just a second. Yeah, this is the folder in which we'll be working on. So we have a folder called 𝐶𝑜-𝐹𝑜𝑢𝑛𝑑𝑒𝑟. We have a friend here. And, yes. Okay. If I open this file, if I open it in, I just open it in Notepad. Open with Notepad. Okay. So what I'll do is, I'll try to like compare both both these files, like what I've written here, and I'll just try to like take one by one, and I'll explain to you what I've done here. Okay, so first thing is, we need to like import a few things like to run the application. Before that, let me just check. Okay, so let me just see. Okay, what I'll do is, I'll just close, like remove everything from here, make it blank, and let's see what I'm importing. Okay, okay, so this is what I'm importing. I'll just enable page break also, and word wrap also. Yeah, so these are the things that I'm like importing. First thing is React Native. Okay, sorry, React. We need React, and we are using few things from React, that is use effect and use state. Then like this is not important, like this is the same thing, but it came up with some dependency, but that's okay. Then we are importing view, button, scroll view, text input, and few other things from React Native. Okay, so these are the components that we'll be using to like build our front end, and I'll explain how and why I'm importing all these things and where they are used. So yeah, this is basically it. And yeah, you don't have to like do it right away. Like you have to import all the stuff that you need for an application. The thing is with with Visual Studio Code, what you have is, when you're like writing React Native code, and then something is required, it will ask for like, is this required? Then if you press enter, it will like automatically import it from that file. So that's how these things come up. And, if it's possible, I'll show you like how it comes up and how can like import it directly from it. Okay, so that's it. Then the basic stuff, like this is the render. Sorry. Okay, so what I've written here is, I have written a class component here. Okay, I have written a class component here. It's quite big, and this is the entire application right here. I'll do is I'll just remove everything, and I will show you only what is necessary. Okay, what is necessary, and then we will like one by one take all those stuff from there. Okay, so render, we have a return function here. I'll just remove all these and need a view. Okay, just a second. Need a view, and I will take everything else out from here. And okay, this is basically it. Like if you have, if you want to run a basic application of React Native, then this is basically it. You will have a class or a functional component. So I have written here a class component, and I've given a name of app for that particular component. And this app component is like it's the basic stuff. Like this is from where the entire app will be running. Okay, so that's why I'm calling it app component. And inside a class component, you need a render function. It will not work without a render function. And inside it, I'm returning something. So inside the return function, this is where you will be like putting all the stuff, like all the components that you're importing from React Native or React, or from other third-party libraries, third-party component places, or even your custom components. You'll be like putting it all inside this. Okay. Now, along with this, we need something else, that is the style sheet. Okay, I'll just take the style sheet also. I'll take the style sheet from here, and I'll just remove all these stuff so that you can just understand what it is. And we'll later take this back. Okay. So this is basically the style sheet. So I'm like defining a variable called styles, and that styles is actually the style sheet dot create function. So it's basically creating a new style sheet instance of style sheet, and I'll be calling this styles variable. So you can see here this view component is applied by a styles dot main function, like a main object is being applied onto this view component. So this is how you apply a style to this particular component. So you define it here. So I've defined main, and I've given some properties, attributes here. I'm calling that main here from styles, and I'm applying it to like this particular view. Okay, so this is how you do it. Like you write the style here and you just call it from it. Okay, this is how you do it. There is like a way to do inline styles also. I'll show you in a bit. So this is basically it, like all the stuff. But you need to there is one more thing, that is you need to export this application class. Okay, you need to export it so that you can run it. So yeah, that's how I'm like, we need this particular part. Okay, this is important, export default app, or you can just type export default class app extends React Native directly. But I prefer this one, this version, I mean this method. Yeah, so this is basically the structure of our application, and we'll be like putting all our components inside here and all our styles inside here. Okay. Yeah, so let's begin. Like, let me see if the emulator has started up, and what you'll do is, let me just check if everything is working. So this is basically an Android emulator, I mean an Android device. Okay, it's completely working here. I'll just go to the home, and yeah, it's completely working. What I'll do is, I'll just open up, let me just see one thing. Okay, so we have actually started the application, right? We have actually started the application. What I'll do is, I'll click on run on Android device or emulator. So it's saying that attempting to open a simulator, and here you can see on the the console, it's saying that opening on Pixel 3a API 3086. So that's actually this device, and currently what it's doing is it's installing Expo on this device. Okay, so it's actually installing Expo from the Play Store. You can see it's updating some stuff, and it's installing Expo on this device. Okay, installing Gboard and all, the keyboard that's comes with Google Android installations. So that's what it's installing, and it will start up in a few minutes, about 2 to 3 minutes. So yeah, it's saying this download is taking longer than expected, but don't worry, it will open. If it's, you're getting the same message, it's okay. It will just open right now, and we will see like what I've done here. Just a second, let it open. So okay, I think it will open in any second right now. Okay, we'll just continue with like reviewing the code that we need to do. So what we have is a view component. Okay, so view component is basically like a container in which you can put some stuff and you can just display them there. Okay, so basically the thing is, if you're like displaying a text or a button or anything, you need to like put it inside a view component. So that's how you actually do some put stuff. So if you like, if I just do text here, and that's also possible. See, if I just put text here, and it's showing me some error, right? So it means that the error that I'm getting is JSX expressions must have one parent element. So that's an error that's coming up. So if I just take this text component and put it inside this, you can see that there won't be an error. So what I'm doing is I'm making this view component a parent. Am I audible?
So, so is it audible?
Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me?
So the voice was break till now.
Okay. So I hope it's okay now.
Yeah, it's okay
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, so we can see that the Expo application has been installed in the device. Like you can see the app here, Expo Go, right? So let's see what's happening right now. If I go to this particular link, it's saying that Expo, it's trying to open here, and we'll wait. Okay, we'll just do one thing. We'll just open this application directly, and this is what it looks like. Okay, this is the Expo application. So even if you install it on your device, it's the same thing as you can see here. So what I'll do is, I'll just open it right here, and we'll see if that speeds up the process. Okay. So this is what it looks like. Okay. The recent application that you have been running, it will show up here. So, so let me just see why it's not like. I'll just click. Yeah, so it's saying that the simulator is ready, and you can see this, the Expo app is actually loading the application from here. Okay, that's what happening here, and in a bit you can see the application running on this device. So what we'll do is let it run, and we can actually, as we make edits here, we can actually see that the application is being, updated there. Okay, so this is what it looks like. You have an icon that you have here, and you have some information here saying that how much has been loaded. So it's like 4.4% right now. It will just load quickly, you don't have to worry about that. So what I need to have here is I will have a text component here. Okay, and I'll say app is live. Okay, and I'll just save it. So let's see what happens now. It's actually loading right now. It'll take a few seconds, like 2 to 3 seconds. Okay. So first time when you'll be loading, it will be like doing bundling JavaScript bundle and stuff. So after that, with each refresh, like each save, it will just reload instantly. Okay, that's what happens. Let's see. Just keep it like this, and around 76, 78. Okay. So I guess the loading has completed, and you can see that the open up app.js. Okay, just a second. Yeah. So this is what we'll get. Hello there, and some information there, and you can see that there is a message here, like some text here. App is live, right? So it means that the application is running, and the thing that we have given is actually there. So what I'll do is I'll actually I'll do some property here so that this particular text comes to the front. Okay, like on the center. Okay, I'll just do flex. So what flex means is that it will put everything in a flex box. So if you are familiar with CSS styling, it's basically something that can move around freely, like as you like. So I'm putting it in a flex box, and I'm doing justify content. This is another property. So if you're familiar with CSS, it will be like super easy for you, like follow up. And I'll say align items. Uh, I'll say that also center. Let's just save it. Okay, as soon as I save it, you can see that it's reloaded and everything is in the center. Okay, so the text might be much smaller, but that's okay. We are not going to use this. We'll be doing some other stuff. So yeah, that's basically it. Like once you change here and save, it will be like a reloading. Okay, that's basically it. So let's start building like what's necessary, and we'll just start doing it. So I hope you got the idea. Like we have a text component, and that's enclosed in a parent component. Okay, it's inside view component, and we have some styling here. So this styling I'm applying to this view component, that is the parent component. Okay, so that's the main style that I'm applying, and the style that I've applied is this particular style. So actually I should have applied this to this one, the text tag, but it's okay. Yeah, it's actually working. So what I'll do is I'll just remove this, and I'll remove this also. So what we need in our application is actually a form, okay, a form sort of thing in from which we can submit our 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 message, like our meeting. So we can create any meeting, right? So for that we need a column, like a place where we can enter our the meeting name or meeting description or start time or end time and stuff like that. So what I'll do is I have already done some some development here, so I'll take it from here. So we have here is, so I'll just take something from here and then I will explain to you what I've done here. Okay. So there you go. So this much we need. So I've taken that and I've put it here. Okay. I'll save it, and let's see what happens. Okay. So we have something here. Okay. It's saying meeting description and meeting room. So we have something here. What I have here is a text input. Okay. So a basic text input would look like this. Okay, so this is what a basic text input would look like. It doesn't have a closing tag, but it itself has a forward slash. So that's how we close it, and it has an attribute called placeholder, and that's where we put this the text that you need to display here. So if I just save it, you can see that we'll have something here saying placeholder text. I think we have some issues here. Okay, just save it again. Okay, meeting description and meeting room. Yeah, that is basically because it's actually over the top. That's why it's actually hidden here somewhere. So what I'll do is I'll just remove this and just take what was here already. This was the thing already there, right? And just refresh it, and we have something here, but it's actually hidden because of this status bar. Okay, it's actually hidden because of the status bar. So to solve that issue, what I'll do is I'll put some styling in this main. Okay, I'll put some styling in this main. What I'll do is I'll say I'm going to give some padding from the top. Okay, padding on the top, and I'll say is padding top, and I'll say 50. So we don't use px for pixels or some other stuff, em or ex. We don't use those things, but we rather give some general values like 50 or 10 or 5. So it depending upon the device, it will actually change. Okay, we don't use rem or px or es. Okay. So let me just save that. Let's see what happens now. You can see that it gave a padding from the top of 50, and what we got, that thing that was hidden here. So this particular text input that was hidden on the top, we actually got it out. Okay, so it's pushed down and we have it here. So these are actually text inputs. So I can click and type here. Okay, that's what they are. Okay. If I click here, I can type. So that's basically it. So these are text inputs, and you might see like it has something else also, like a lot of other stuff. So if I just like put enter and show you like one by one, I'll just show you all these things just a second. So what we have here is you know, uh, we have a placeholder. That's basically what it's written inside this. Just a second. Okay, so sorry about that. So okay, we have something called placeholder here, and it's actually what's written inside. So it's the meeting title that we have here, and the next thing that we have here is an on change text. So this is something that we are using to run a function. Okay, so we haven't written the function yet. What I'll do is I'll just remove this for now, and we'll put that. Okay, we'll put that, and here also I'll just uh, put these down. And, we have some other stuff also here. We'll just put these down, and I just remove this function from here. Okay. Similarly here also. Uh, so basically, this is what you will get. Like if you are like writing it for the first time, text input component. This is basically what it looks like. Okay, this is what it looks like, and these are some attributes like placeholder text. And on text change, you can apply some function here. Like when this changes, what happens? Okay, that's what you can apply here. And this is actually used like this particular attribute, multi-line true. So what it does is this particular, field, this particular input field, I have made it multi-line. So it's not actually multi-line right now because we haven't applied any styles and all. You can't see it right now, but it's actually working. But I'll show you. Okay. So I'm applying some styles here also, like styles.input. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply it right now and see how it changes. Okay, we'll do it. So after main, let me just do something. I just put a comma. We need to put comma, to separate different styles. Okay. So I'll just put another one. I'll say input, okay, and you need to give a colon, then curly braces. Inside this, you just put this, whatever you wanna like the style that you wanna give it. So okay, let me see what I've given here. So I'll just try to put the same one. So yeah, so this is what I've used here. So since we don't have much time, I'll just paste it and I'll just show you what I've written here and how it changes. Okay, I've given a border color gray. Okay, I'll do one by one, so that you can understand how it. Okay, I'm giving a border color of gray. Just save that and see what happens. Uh, okay, okay, that's actually because okay, any error that you might face, it will come up like this. Okay, this is how you'll see an error has happened, and it's actually showing that nothing is inside this function. So I'm going to remove this. Okay, these attributes. So I'll just remove this for now, and I'll just save it. It might, yeah, it's working right now. So what I've done here is I'm given a border color of gray, but it's not coming up, right? Because we don't have a, I've given a border color, but border doesn't have a, thickness or something or anything. So I'll give a border thickness. Border width. I'll give a border width of 2. Okay, and I'll just save this and let's see what happens. You can see we got a border. Okay, we got a border width of something like a 2, but the thing is we don't have, it's all stuck on the left and right. We don't have any spacing in between. So to give that, what I'll do is I'll come to the main component and I'll say is within the main component I'll give a padding of like 10 here and 10 on the vertical and some on the bottom also. What I'll do is okay, I've given something here, so I'll take the same values here and paste it here, and I'll save it, and let's see what happens. You can see that it has come up here, and the problem is like it's up. So I'll just put that also. I'll say margin top is 25. I've earlier used like 50, so let's see what happens. So it's 25 is not enough, so I'll just put 45. Let's see what. Okay, this looks pretty good. Okay, so we have some spacing around all the components, and this is one component. And the thing is, this meeting title has some space above and inside within that box, but it doesn't have on the left and right. So what I'll do is I'll give some padding to this particular component. So padding and margin, the difference is margin is outside the component, padding is within the component. Okay, so I'll give some padding and you can see the difference. Okay, just a second. I'll give a padding. Okay, I'll give a padding horizontal. So padding horizontal means padding on left and right. So on the horizontal axis. Okay, I'll give a padding horizontal of about 10. And let's see what happens. You can see that there is some space right now on the left and right, and it looks good. Okay, what I'll do, so by applying some more styles, like I'll take it directly from here so that I don't waste any more time. This is what it looks like. Okay, this is what it looks like. Now it's a big change. I'll tell you one by one what I've done. So I've given a, okay, I don't need border color and border radius. I've removed all this. I'm not using any border right now. So sorry, I need border radius. I don't need border color. So I have applied a border radius of 10. So this is what the rounded edges that you rounded corners that you can see. So I've given a border radius of 10 and given a padding horizontal that is on the left and right inside this component of 10 and a padding vertical, so up and down of 5. And I've used a background color of gray. Okay, for these components I've used within those components I'm given a background color of gray and some text aligned vertical top, so that this particular in a big text box this thing comes up on the top. I've given a text aligned vertical top. Okay, that's what I've done. And this is basically a text input, so this is an input box. Okay, so that's basically it. And what we currently have is basically meeting title, meeting description, and meeting room. So I need a start and end time also, so I need to enter those also. So what I'll do is I'll take that also from here. So this is the entire thing for that. I'll tell you what's like happening here and why it's so big like compared to these ones. I'll tell you just a second. Just paste it here. Okay, so what I've done is I've created another view within this the entire view component, and what I've entered inside this is I've given a flex direction row. So what it means is I'm going to flex all the components within this in a row, in a single row. Okay, and inside that I have two views, another two views. So it's basically nesting a view inside a view inside a view. That's the same process. And inside this I'm going to flex it again, so whatever inside this will be like on the center, on the middle. So I have one thing right here and another thing right here. So this is actually a an input field, and this is another input field, because I wanted to like I'll just show you. If I just save this, sorry, you can see that you have two things like side by side, right? To do that I've given this flex direction row and put two flex elements inside. Okay, that's how we get two of these elements. Now these are using another style, input left and input right. I'll just copy that also, input left and input right. So this is basically just styling. Okay, this is not building application, like we haven't done the actual calls or API calls or anything right now. So that's why like it's up to you. Like if you know basics, like how to put a style, you can just try several things and then make anything. Like okay, now I've applied these two styles to these two things also. So we have styles here. And the other thing that I want to give is okay. So right now we have almost everything, like all the fields that we need to create a new meeting title, description, room, start time, end time. The next thing that we need is a button. Okay, we need a button here so that we can show some stuff, like no, not show some stuff, we can create a meeting so that we can start an instance of a creation. Okay, we can create something like all the information within this form. It sends to the server. Okay, so let's do that. Do you is there any echo in my voice? I think I have. Yeah, just mute it. Okay. Yeah, I think it's okay now. Fine. So what I'll do is I will actually create a button here. Okay, there are two ways in which you can create a button. One is actually using a button component, but the problem with button component is you can't style it. You don't have any option to style the button component. So it's basically like this. If I just show you how it looks like, so it's basically a button. So button actually don't have closing tag. So this is what it looks like, and you have a title attribute to a button. Okay, I'll just give a title attribute and I will say submit. Okay, so let's see what happens. There you can see that a button has come up, and you can see I've given only small like characters, but it comes up as a big character, and you can't change the color of this button. There are some limitations for this particular component. So that's why I'm going to use something else called a touchable opacity. So touchable opacity is basically like a button, it's like a component that you can touch and you can get some response from it. Like it will show some animation, and I can do some like perform some functions based on the touch. Okay, so that's what I'm going to use, and I'll just show you what I did with the touchable opacity. Okay, so take it from here, just paste it here and just save it, and I'll just show you what I've done here. Okay, what I've done here is I've created a touchable opacity, and I've initiated a function here. It's called onPress. I'll just give some spaces and show you what I've done. Okay, so these are the attributes I've given. This is a text inside the touchable opacity. So what touchable opacity is basically a container. Okay, container that you can press. So that's what touchable opacity is, and this container has a text element in the center. So that's what this text component is for use for. I've written create meet, right? So that's what you see in the middle, and I've given inline styling. You can do inline styling with two curly braces and just write all the styling that you have written here inside. You can do it inside. So just use double curly braces instead of single curly braces when you are referring to a style. So I've done that, and you can see the text inside the container. And for the container itself, I've given some styling like padding and some background color and stuff like that. Okay, and I've called a function also on press. Like when I'm pressing this container, it will do some function, like it will render some function. Okay, that's what happening. So touchable opacity, I can style it, and that's why I'm using it instead of a button. Okay, and I've enclosed it in a view. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And we have a form right now. So this is basically we'll be using to create new meetings. Okay. Now another thing that we need is a list of like all the meetings, right? All the meetings, so that we can know what are the meetings, and we should be able to delete them from there also. So we need that also. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll do that also, and on tomorrow's session we will look into how we can connect it to the API, like how we will use some functions. Like that's the most important thing, but it's very simple. It's very easy to do, and yeah, let's just see how we can create the UI for the message components also. Okay, so what I'm going to do is after this button, I'm going to give some space, and here I will put all the message items here one by one. Okay, so to do that, what I'll do is I'll take this view. Okay, so I've done some other stuff also here that I will explain once you understand what I've done here. I'll take a view here. So view is basically like to enclose all these text elements, and okay. So this has some stuff, right? I'll just remove all these stuff because these are dynamic attributes that comes from something else. So we don't have that yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some stuff here, like message heading and message content and room and time. Okay, I just save this and let's see what happens now. So I have one item here, right? I have one particular message unit of a message here. Like I have message heading, content, room, time. So this will be the structure of a message, and we have multiple units like this. So this is one message, and we will have another one here like this. Okay, before that, let me just style this one. So I'm going to apply some styles. I'll just copy it from here. I'm given some styles here. I'll just take it from here and I'll put it here. I'll save it, and you can see that that has been saved. Okay, and it's actually loaded. And this is one item. This is one message item. Okay, and it has a heading, content, room, and time. This is one message item, and we'll have multiple ones like this. So I'll show you how it looks like when we have multiple items. So what I'll do is I'll just copy this. I'll paste 3 of them. Okay, two more of them, and you can see that this is how it will look like. 1, 2, 3. This is how it will look like. So I just put more of them. Like more, save. So this is how it look like. It will look like, and you can see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 messages here, but actually I put 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The other one is actually hidden in below this, so I can't scroll it, right? It's not possible for me to scroll right now. But what we'll do is we'll put this inside a scrollable view, so that we can actually scroll down and actually see it. Okay, so to do that, I'll do nothing but I'll enclose all these message items. Go up. I'll enclose all these message items inside another component called a flat list. Okay, I'll put everything in a flat list. So flat list is something that you can use to list a lot of stuff. Flat list is okay. So this is flat list, and a flat list doesn't have an ending tag. So you just open it like this, and what you'll do is you'll go down, and you'll then put a closing tag. Okay. Just put this. No, it's not working. Okay. It's because it doesn't have a closing tag. Unexpected token. Okay. Okay, I have to yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. So just copy it from here. I'll just replace everything inside this. Yeah, what I need to do is I have to put it inside a render item. That's why it's not working. Just take all these, just remove this. I put everything here. Save it. Okay, I think the error is because I'm trying to, yeah, I'm trying to put everything inside. Okay, that could be the issue. So that means this was also working. Yeah. So the problem is I need to put everything inside another view. Okay, it's all messed up right now. Let me just see what I've done here. Okay, I've created a flat list. I'll just remove everything. Um, okay, we have. Let me just save this and see what's. Yeah, we don't have anything else. We have all the things that we had before. Now what I'll do is I'll create something, a flat list here. Take it from here and just put it, save it, and let's see what's inside this. Okay, just remove this tag because we don't have it right now. Okay, we don't have a key also, but it's taking some time to load, but we will wait and we'll see. Okay, the thing is actually like what I'm trying to do is I'm going to iterate, the individual item, the individual thing that we were looking at. So this particular thing, I can remove this and I can show you. So the entire thing that you see here, which if I change it A, B, C, D. Okay, if I do this, the thing that you see on the bottom, like just a second, let it reload. Okay, this particular item, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reiterate this like one by one. So that's what I'm going to do inside a flat list. Okay, so since the thing that I'm trying to do here is actually using some dynamic data, like each time a new message comes up, it should show dynamically. We need to write a function to do that. So that's why it's showing me error. So what I'll do is we can actually stop it right now. So we have actually built the UI that we need to make it dynamic. Right? Okay, so these are the basic stuff that we will have, and what we are going to do is make everything dynamic, like all these stuff we will make it interactive. This message entity will be dynamic, like it will be interacting with the API and taking the data from the API, and we will have some option here to delete the message also. Okay, like what I'm trying to do is I will long press on this and it will get deleted. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Okay, I guess that's pretty much enough for today, and uh, I guess we are like this is the simple UI that we can build, and that's pretty much it. We'll not be doing anything else. So this is the UI, and on this UI we'll be applying all the stuff, like all the interactions that we need to do in order to get data from the API. So the method that we're going to use is fetch. Okay, so fetch is a method that we'll be using to interact with the API. There are other methods also, like if you know, there are things like Axios, and you can also use Redux and the state management to interact with an API. So we can do that also, but we are using fetch to actually interact with the API, and we'll be using different methods like when we build the backend, we actually use methods like post, delete, and get methods on the API. The same methods will be used on this also, and we'll be actually calling our API and getting data and interacting with the data. And it will be like 100% deployable. Like you will be able to take this application, generate API, and deploy it on the Play Store, and it will still work because everything is hosted on the cloud, and this is an independent APK file that's accessing the API from the cloud. So it will be like working properly. So I think we need like 1.5 hours, and tomorrow we'll close everything up. So we'll just wind up everything, and yeah. So this is. I'm sorry, but I have to leave it right here because we don't have time. So yeah, we'll just continue from here tomorrow. Okay, and I'm sorry that I didn't put the code in the GitHub because I was working on this. So what I'll do is the current state I'll put it on GitHub, and I'll share it to you. Like I'll give it to the organizers and they can share it to you, maybe, or I'll just share it to you on tomorrow's session. Okay. So I guess we can wind up today's session right now.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So now we can have a Q&A session. So
Yeah,
participants,
please,
if you
please.
have, okay.
Yeah,
So participants, if you have any queries, you can drop in chat box. So we'll be sharing it. And so we have got two questions through WhatsApp.
yeah.
So one of it is, what's your favorite state management techniques in React Native?
So I use the basic, like the bundled in stuff, like componented mount, and we can also use asynchronous await and do this. But if you like go like fancy, and if you want to use some like higher level stuff, and if you want to like use some much better stuff, like better state management stuff, you can go for Redux. So Redux is a good option out there, and if you want to use that, you can use that. But we can do it with like mount and asynchronous await and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you. And can we make website using React Native just like in Flutter?
Yes, you can do. And if I just show you right now, just a second. Okay, so this is the Expo app running, right? This is basically all the errors that we came here. So if I just click this button, run in web browser, it's saying that attempting to open the project in a web browser, and it'll open up a new tab in the current browser. And what you can see there is actually the app running, on the web. So the thing is, you can use React Native to build web applications. It's no issue there. But React JS would be a much better option there. So the thing is, the development, the way of development today is actually, the way in which we did it. Like they build the API for the backend, and you can build the front end in any way you like. Like for web applications, you can create a different stuff. For mobile devices, you can use React Native or Flutter or anything that you want. And for other devices like WatchOS, or you can use different stuff to do this. So the same application in web. So this is what it looks like. So if you can deploy it on a website, make it a website, it will look like this. So since we are developing it for a mobile device, so that's why it's looking so ugly and really bad. But if I go and click inspect, and if I go to, so this is what something that I do when I can't run emulator and stuff. So what I'll do is I'll go here and select a mobile device, and this is pretty much like it looks like a mobile device, right? This is what it looks like. But you don't get some features like you get in Android devices, like swipe and push, and I mean pull to reload and stuff like that. You won't get those things on the web browser. So that's why I prefer using an emulator or an Android device. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So if there are any queries, okay, I think it's clear to everyone.
Yeah.
So participants will be sharing the feedback form now, and it will be open for 5 minutes. And after that, will be closed, and it will be closed, and no more responses will be accepted.
So I'm sorry that we have to stop it, and I know that most of you might not couldn't understand all these things because I haven't gone line by line coding because we don't have enough time. That's why. Yesterday I thought about like doing a lot of line by line coding and giving some like introductions because some technical issues we couldn't do it yesterday, so I had to run it like this. But if you have any issues, like you're facing some issues, please, like you can ask me. And yeah, I hope you have my contact number and email ID with you, then just contact me. Okay.
Okay, sir. So thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your session. We'll be continuing tomorrow also. Tomorrow at 7:30.
Thank you everyone.